Testing, testing, testing. All right. All right, let's do it. Do the SSD first and get this, get it cloned up. Windows 11. Feel free to ask questions, buddy. You said your son's watching too. Is this PC for your son? Very cool. Yep, definitely fun to build them your own, or build them yourself. Super fun. You could use this as a guide. $9950X3D. I did upgrade your RAM, by the way. When you ordered your PC, the site was showing CL36 of this memory, which is the latency, and it wasn't supposed to be that way. It was supposed to default to CL30, which is faster, and the recommended spec for AMD CPUs. I am the son in question. Nice to meet you. Caleb, huh? Nice to meet you, Caleb. Oh yeah, I'll show you this too, just for fun. Got 2 sticks of this. With AMD CPUs specifically, you only want to have 2 sticks. 4 sticks is bad. You will not be able to run high speeds. AMD is just very finicky. Honestly, these motherboard companies should just stop putting 4 slots on their boards, because it's kind of pointless. 3D architectural work for clients, and the rig I have now is about 8 years old. The software and projects I get are getting a little too much to work. Yep, I hear you. Yeah, this CPU is going to be amazing for that stuff. It's going to be incredible. And then you'll have plenty of VRAM with the 5082 for whatever you need. You might, in the future, you might want to consider upgrading your RAM, though. 32 gigs will probably be fine. But you might get better performance with like a 96 gig kit or even 128 gigs. You'll be able to tell if, like, when you're running your programs or whatever, just keep an eye on Task Manager and see what your RAM usage is. I'm assuming for stuff like that you might need more RAM. If I had known that, I would have recommended more. But 32 will probably get you started just fine. A lot of the usage is going to be on the CPU. It's just like when you start doing like renders and stuff, a lot of that stuff just gets saved to RAM, and you could run out. Just waiting on this SSD to finish up. We're at 91%. Not if you want to run it at the advertised speeds. Like, this is 6,000 megahertz. I think the standard DDR5 speed is 4,800 megahertz, which you would be able to run that with 4 sticks. But they make 128 gig kits in 2 sticks, so you can get 2 64 gig sticks. SSD's done. And whenever you do that, just let me know, and I'll send you the RAM, or I'll send you a link to the RAM that you should buy. I'm sure down the road, because, like, as far as the CPU is concerned, I know you said you only do the 3D architectural work. The CPU is actually really good for gaming too, and 32 gigs is typically fine for gaming. But yeah, just let me know if you decide to upgrade. It's an easy install. You'll just pop the 2 sticks out, throw the new ones in, reset CMOS, and then I'll go through the BIOS settings with you that we're gonna have to change. Okay, move on here. Cooler. Let's take a look at this. Let's put this out of the way for now. Yeah, it's a shame. Well, it's not really a shame, but it's kind of a shame that you bought your PC when you did, because I'm working on the workstations section for the pre-configured stuff right now. It's in development. It's like completely different than the gaming PCs. A lot of specific parts are different. So did you look up the recommended specs or something for the programs that you're using, and you found the 9950X 3D or 9950X was what you needed? This is actually my first time installing a Montech cooler. Looks pretty nice. Looks very similar to the Arctic liquid freezer. Let me zoom out here. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it'll be fine. Just the, I mean, this CPU is incredible for everything, pretty much. So, it's the best all-rounder that exists currently. Are you going to be using it at work? Like, at your actual work location? If you want to take a look at this, it's pretty neat. Okay, so we have pump power right here. It's 4-pin connector. Yeah, all my clients love this. It's the best idea I ever had. Well, I can't take all the credit, but... And we got our fans, pumping fans. I mean, doesn't get any more simple than that. It's awesome. Daisy chained. I do like fan bearings, feel good. Pre-installed fans, looks like they're all dampened. They have like these corners are rubber, so it helps with like vibrations and stuff. Not bad. It's a really, really good budget cooler. I'm impressed so far. And radiator thickness, looks like it's a little bit thicker than standard. I don't know what the measurement is on that. A little bit thicker than standard. These things are pretty highly recommended, especially at whatever the price is. Check this out. Alright, AMD. I think this has 2 options for AMD. It's all our standoffs and stuff. Let's see what we got here. Thermal paste, which we won't be using. I'll be including the thermal paste in your in the box, so that if you ever need to, in about a year, you want to change the thermal paste every year. You'll just undo the cooler screws, wipe the thermal paste off with like an alcohol wipe, reapply it. Want to do that once a year. You might be able to get away with a couple years off of the thermal paste that I'll be using, just because it's very high quality. It looks like an included, it's got like a hex nut on it, sorta. Looks like that's included to bolt some stuff down. We have 2 included back plates here. I believe these are both for Intel. LGA 1700 and 1851 are Intel. LGA 115X and 1200, these are both Intel. Current gen and old gen. Don't need these. The AMD bracket just slides onto this thing. And I think it has an Intel bracket installed on it right now, and I'm pretty sure this guy just slides off. Yep. These live streams will always be available, by the way. So if you ever have an issue, you'll have a point of reference for the whole thing. It'll always be available. You just have to search your order number, and you'll see it. Okay, radiator screws are where? Don't need those. Intel, AMD, that's what I need. Intel. And then these are radiator screws and the pump screws. Perfect. I pretty much already know exactly what to do here. Just double check to see if there's any special instructions. Nope. We're just using the stock backplate on the motherboard, which is what's nice about AMD is you don't have to change the backplate. Just regular screws. We're not using their thermal paste application method. And the cable management for the fence. Yeah, we're good. Very standard. Nothing crazy here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Put all this stuff in the bag for you. Just in case you ever go Intel for some reason. Okay. Let's put that to the side for now. We can continue prepping our motherboard. Thanks. Caleb, are you a gamer? Is that where your interest in PCs comes from? You have a console? Yeah, we all came from console, buddy. Don't sweat it. I made the switch in 2009 from Xbox 360. And I never looked back. Cheaper? If you build it yourself, even if you build it yourself, it'll never be cheaper than a console. But faster? Absolutely. Much faster. It's not even comparable, actually. It's the sweet spot for the amount of money you have to spend for gaming changes pretty often. Like 2 years ago, I was recommending a $2,000 PC, which at the time was Leaf level 3. And yeah, it was $2,000. Now the sweet spot, it's a little bit higher than that. It's more like 3, just because of the prices for everything have kind of been all over the place, and GPUs just keep getting more expensive, just because of the way technology advances. If you want a game in 1440 and get 240 FPS, you're spending $3,000. Well, if you bought it from me, it would be $3,000. Here's our case. Ugh. This is the Phanteks XT Pro Ultra. It's nice. It's got a mesh front, you can see, so tons of airflow. There's not a secondary filter here, so this is just unrestricted airflow. So it comes with the 3 fans in the front, and then it comes with 1 exhaust. There's 3 fan positions on the bottom here, and then 3 up top. So the radiator is going to get mounted on top, and then we have 3 fans that are going to go on the bottom for a total of 10 fans in this PC. tons and tons of airflow. It's going to be awesome. I'm just basically going to disassemble this thing for now. Anytime you're building a PC, first thing you do is take the whole thing apart. Let's take a look at this radiator and just test the fitment really quick so I can get my order of operations correct here. On the real thick radiators, I have to take the fans out that are already mounted. Let's see how this goes in. Yeah, it's a little tight. I'm probably gonna have to take the fans out. That's why we test. I could probably finagle it, but it's really not a big deal. It's also easy that it's good that you can see this because the front panel just comes off like that. There's a tab right on the bottom right here. It says Phanteks on it. You just pull that outwards and the whole thing comes out, and then there's these mount points, just plastic mount points for the front panel. So what I'm going to do here is just remove this top fan so that I have extra room to slide the radiator in, and I'll just throw it right back in. You know what? I'm going to leave 2 screws in before I take this thing out, actually. And I'll put the motherboard in first. And I'll show you why in a second. All these cables that are in here right now, these are all the cables to make the ports on the top work. So power button, reset button, 3.5mm audio jack, USB-C, and a USB 2.0 port on the top. That's what all those cables do. They just connect to the motherboard. And then the fan cables are in there as well. On the bottom, down here, you have room to be able to store, I believe, 2 3.5-inch hard drives, which I wouldn't recommend using, but it's there if you need it. You got plenty of M.2 slots in this board. I would just use those. And then if you need more storage than that, I would tell you to buy what's called a NAS. That is a network. It's basically a network storage. It's only used for storage. You can put a bunch of hard drives in it. And in this box, we just have some zip ties and all the screws that we need to mount the motherboard and everything else. I'll just throw this back into the box, motherboard box. And let's put the motherboard in first. And then we're going to put in our CPU power cables that go on the top here. And the reason why we're doing this first instead of installing the cooler is because you get after you install the cooler, you just have limited room on the top, and plugging in the cables on the top is a real pain. What do we got going on here? Fan cable or something? Come on, go to your home. Oh, it is a fan cable. It's causing this. Here we go. Okay, all our screw holes are lined up. Sorry, my head was probably just in the way of that whole process. I just had to make sure I got it in correctly. So what I was saying was, up here, once the radiator is put in here, it's probably going to sit like right on top of this fan, and you got to be able to plug these 8-pin CPU power cables in, And I'm just basically just making my job nice and easy. Okay, got some zip ties that come with the case. We got all of our screws. Let's separate our screws in this box here. Keep this bag. Okay, so screws to look out for. I believe are these guys. That's a motherboard screw. Literally a cool PC, indeed. Gotta use that's a power supply screw. I'm glad you do. That's kind of why I'm doing this, you know. I want to be able to educate you because, well, owning a PC, a custom built PC, it's not like owning the other ones, you know. This isn't something that you just replace if, like, it's not something you just throw out, you know what I mean? As the more educated you are, the better I'm off in the end. Because if something happens, like say in shipping, a fan cable comes loose or something, and one of the fans isn't turning when you turn it on, because stuff like that happens in shipping. Even if I use the expanding foam packs and whatnot, sometimes stuff happens. You'll be confident because you watch the live stream of the PC getting built, you know, where you'll be able to just fix it. I'll be able to walk you through it, and you'll be able to just fix it. You going to bed? Okay, I love you. Good night. All right, let's take out some of these Cablemod cables here. Are you going to be adding any devices later on? Or is this like, I don't know, something like some sort of accessory? I'm trying to think of an example. Like you might want to get a PCIe card that plugs into this bottom slot that has more USB ports on it, for example. Something like that. If you are, I'll plug in an extra power cable, an extra SATA power cable for you. Okay. This. We have our cable combs. I'll just do it anyway. Actually, don't even sweat it. I'll just plug it in for you. It's not like it takes any extra time. Okay, I'll just throw in the extra one then. No big deal. Okay. Those ones have the combs on them already. This is the one we want here. So what I'm going to do is just throw on these cable combs. Make sure that these ones are pretty also. This might take me a second. They don't make this easy, that's for sure. I wish they were just pre-installed. It would have made my life much easier. One more set here. Nope. One at a time. Alright, perfect. Okay, just spin this guy around. Oops. Okay. Just make sure we're plugged in all the way here. Good. Okay. Now the fun part. Just getting these to go perfectly backwards. Okay. The combs on there. Nice and straight. Alright. Come on. Excellent. Trying to figure out what you're using for a GPU. Didn't I say it was a PNY 5080 triple fan? I thought I wrote that. No. No, it's a PNY. It's a PNY 5080. Here, I'll show you. It's this guy. Could have swore I wrote that in there. Maybe I forgot. It's cable comb. It's fighting with me. Okay. Okay. Are you talking about the Founders Edition 5080? I think that's the only 5080 that only has 2 fans. And those are basically impossible to get. The one that's only branded NVIDIA, like not branded anything else. The difference is price. Those are a $999 MSRP. It might even be less now. Otherwise, all the speeds are pretty much the same. All right, let's get this cooler in. I'll take this front fan out now. Let's actually lay this down. Let's take a look at our fan wires here. These are all going to go on the inside. Oops, just whacked my camera. Sorry, camera. You okay up there? One thing I definitely have to do right now, before I get any further, is wipe this thermal paste off. It's also size, to further answer your question about that other 5080, the Founders Edition. It's a lot thinner. Those are like 2 slot cards, and NVIDIA has like they're like the only ones that have that kind of blow-through design. I might have to do this the other way, unless I can fish this through and actually grab it. There we go. Let's look at our mount. Perfect. Nice and easy. All right. Let's see, radiator screws. This is the thing, Caleb. These are actually full. It's a full custom cable kit, which is not what I advertise. Typically, I would just buy extensions for the 24 pin and the 8 pin, the 2 8 pins, and then the PCI cable, whatever that is. But your dad didn't really care about the color. So I ended up just buying a full cable kit that fit the power supply. So it's actually, technically, it's better than extensions. He said he wanted black. So I was like, all right, well, I'll be able to get these faster. It was really about the speed. When I went on Cablemod's site to order the extensions originally, they didn't have any more spots for rush orders. Because I don't keep anything in stock. To minimize overhead. Your dad can probably explain that to you if you don't know what that means. What do I do with my screwdriver? I do like low volume. I'm not shipping 1,000 PCs a month because I'm just doing this by myself right now. What the heck did I do with my screwdriver? So anyway, I went on Cablemod's site to order the cables, and they didn't have any priority slots available to get the cable extensions made, which means that I probably wasn't going to have them by today. And I wanted to meet the deadline, basically. So, Peckish, what's up, buddy? Cablemod's overpriced? Nah, it's not. It's not overpriced at all. Really high quality stuff. And they support their product too. That's the best part. I still don't know where my screwdriver is. I'm gonna have to use my other thing is over here. Yep, see, your dad got a full cable kit. Not bad. Good for him. Man, that screwdriver disappearing really, really is messing with my brain. Really messing with my brain. I just had all of the radiator screws. Where did I even put them? I'm losing it. Right here. Why did I put them there? Yeah, it's really subjective, Peckish. I want my builds to be a certain way, you know? And my pre-configured PCs come with Cablemod cables. It's just the way it is. It's a step above everybody else. No Asia horse bullshit over here, buddy. They stand behind their product, man. And I mean, as far as looks, yeah, sure, like you can get the same look from like somewhere else. Sure. But you don't know how the newer brands are gonna treat you when you have a problem. I only use brands that I have personal experience building with. Montech, this is one of the first PCs I'm building with Montech because of Braythorn's recommendations. So I'm giving them a shot. We'll see how it performs. You know? But yeah, I mean every brand that I use, like Phanteks, if I have a problem with a case, if I say I ship a case to a customer and it gets there and the side panel's damaged, guess what they do? One email. One email that I send them with a shipping address, and they're shipping them a new panel at no cost. Do you know how hard it is to fill out an RMA form for Lee & Lee? Screwdrivers between the top of the case and the radiator? Huh? Oh, it's actually underneath it. You're not kidding. Good eye. I've always looked as good or better than all my friends who buy Cablemod. Yeah, like I said, it's totally subjective, bro. Totally subjective. You know what I didn't do? I gotta take this other front fan out. There's some people that are just broke, you know? And they don't want to spend money on anything. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That was me. That was me when I first got into this. I was buying $60 power supplies off of eBay, ready to catch my house on fire. And then I had a power supply, a Corsair power supply, on me fail on me. And that's when I learned about Seasonic. When Corsair didn't honor their warranty. I said, oh, maybe these other guys might be better. That's all she wrote. I gotta slide this radiator forward a little bit. I'm over here yapping, not paying attention. How far can I go? Not very far. Take these guys out. You got to remember, I have to warranty these products basically. I handle all of the warranty stuff for parts for the lifetime of a build for my customers. That's part of our warranty policy. So I'm not going to be dealing with brands that aren't going to support me if I run into an issue. Yeah, it was a joke, but yep, I did find it. It was literally right where you said it was, just underneath the case, not in between the radiator. It's funny. Great. Now I gotta find these other 4 fan screws. What the hell did I do with those? I'm really on some shit today, I swear to God. Alright. Where they should be is in my screw tray. That's where they should be. Are they there? No. This is the thing that's hard about live streaming. PC builds. Is because you can't, like, fully lock in, you know? You gotta be careful. What the hell did I do with them? There's only so many places this stuff could be. You know? Very silly of me. There's one of them. Um... 16 years. Yep. Remind me to... I'll show you my first PC I ever built. I think I have some pictures of it. It was in an Montech 1200. I'm just making fan adjustments right now while I think about where these screws are. I'll just use new ones. I'll find them later. Look under the rotating table. I'll tell you what, if that's where they are, I might just have to hire you. I don't think I could afford you, though, based on what you do for a living. Alright, let's get this cooler. Get this cooler on there. Montech. This is a really nice little pump block here. I like it. What I don't like is how long this cable is. It's kind of unnecessary. Let's see, AIO pump. How many wires? Oh, it is 4. Cool. Come here. Why don't you want to go in? You know what I need? I need this guy here. Oh yeah, now I can see. Oh, I see the problem. A little bit. Plastic is a little bit bent. We're going on like this. Looks like it is offset. I was wondering. Not bad. Alright, let's get our thermal paste on. That one's empty. Oh, here. Do the X pattern. Suck that back in there. Come on. Come on now. Oh, what the hell is that doing in there? Radiator screw stuck inside that. Stuck inside that guy. All right. Wow, I can actually bottom these out with just my hands. That's kind of insane. Am I a super fucking hero or what? Not bad. Sorry you guys can't see this part, but I gotta do it. Gotta do it right. Okay. Where are my zip ties? Wonder when those screws are gonna show up. Oh, lost that one. Okay, this one's bent the right way. Okay, let's get CPU fan is on the bottom. Okay, which way am I going to go in here? I could go in the same place. This one comes out of. Let's see what looks better. That's really what matters. Could come up from here. Yeah, that's the way. Hope you got your X-ray vision on. Okay. Okay, so this next stage of the build is kind of boring. You're not going to see a lot happening. I mean, it's mostly cable management. But yeah, there's your warning. Looks good though. Looks good so far. Little power. You can't really see these. Maybe I could zoom in. Nah, it doesn't zoom in far enough. All right. Let's get to work here. First thing I'm going to do is cut this zip tie. Put some of these cables down. Separate them. Come on. This one's all tangled up. Okay, this is an RGB fan. This is another fan. Separate this and make it not look so ass. Okay, first thing we're going to do is front panel. I'll try to show you that as much of this as possible. Front panel is pretty much on the bottom right of every motherboard. And then we have the USB-C cable, which goes into this little keyed slot here. It only goes in one way. That's the wrong way. You know the rule with USB is that you always put it in the wrong way first. You can't do it right the first time. It's impossible. Even if you do it right the first time, it's wrong. You know what I mean? I don't like the way that looks. I'll undo that. And then plug this back in on top. It's just the law of nature in computers. That's the actual USB port on top, USB 3. It's a fan cable. This is the HD audio port on top. which is always in the bottom left. It's been that way for a while. Then we have two fan cables and RGB 4 said fan cables. So what I'm going to do is tie all these up on top. Okay. So everything coming down into this. Basically what I'm going to do here is just create a channel for everything to sit inside of. If there's anything I don't like the look of, I can just change it right now before I tie that up completely. Sometimes Phanteks ships these and the cables are absolutely perfect, and other times just look like shit. So you have to, sometimes you have to readjust them. Okay. So I'm going to try to keep these, because these USB cables are flat, I'm going to try to keep all the flat cables together so it looks nicer when everything is finished being managed. All right. All right. Get a tie on this. Okay. I don't normally have to clean these up like this up here, but in this case, I definitely do. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yep, not bad at all. Looks pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. Alright, let's see where we're plugging these fans in. Alright, not bad. Let's see if we can reach. If we can't, I just gotta throw an extension on there. Alright, I have one fan port on the bottom that I could definitely reach with, and then the other ones are on the other side of the board, which are like right here. So those ones are definitely not reaching there. So I gotta grab an extension, which I have right here. So the first one I'll plug in right there. Perfect. And then I'll throw the extension on the other one. Okay. This guy. Just throw up over here. Anytime I do cable management, I wish I had more hands. Alright, let's figure out where this RGB cable's going. On the bottom, right in the middle of the board. Ugh. God, that's ugly. Top right's also ugly. Would have to go up here. Nah, I'm gonna go on the bottom. How ugly is it really? Let's just take a look at it. Let's see. Worst connector known to man? Yes. Whenever you're plugging one of these in, you don't know if you're absolutely demolishing the pins or if it's just going on cleanly. You really don't know. Like, I don't like the way this cable looks like it's sitting, but it's on there. It looks like it's not even on, but like when you pull the connector off and all the pins are still straight, it's like, all right, it was on there. It's not super ugly, and the other good thing is that it's going to be hidden because the fans on the bottom, you're not going to be able to see any of this stuff. The fans on the bottom are going to hide it. Okay. That should be good right there. So I think what I'm going to do is tuck these cables up here. And then I'll cut those ties and retie them. Okie doke. I hate when I put the tie in backwards. Come on. Twist! Please. Come on. It's getting caught in the back of the board. Come on. There we go. Okay. Sorry, you guys can't even see that, I don't think. Shouldn't even have put that on, because I'm going to have to take it off anyway. Once I put the bottom fans in. Let me cut this really quick. Another tie in backwards. Come on. Go. Here we go. Wish you could see that better. It's damn clean. Super clean. Alright, let's get these, let's see, what should I do first? I think I have to do the other bottom fans first. Take a look at our motherboard connectors, make sure we're not stretching anything crazy. Did I find the missing screws? No, they're gone. Vanished. They wouldn't fit underneath the table. Yep, they're gone. They're gone. You know what I can do, though? Put these tube things on here. Little tube alignment plastic things. Wasn't there a second one? Nice. Now we're talking. I feel like I put them in the bag or something because they're gone. Absolutely gone. All right, let me wipe this thing off. Get my fingerprints off of it. You know what I didn't check for? Stickers on these fan bearings. Typically there's stickers on there. Can't really tell. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's looking really good. All right. Power supply first or bottom fans first? I think bottom fans. Okay. Let's take a look. No, not wearing gloves. Never have. You'll have to pay extra for that. I don't think I'd be able to do this wearing gloves. I'm totally honest with you. I would lose the dexterity. There's a lot of like, you're working with tiny pieces. I've never even found a pair of gloves that I would even consider using when doing this stuff. I see a lot of YouTubers doing that though. Did I just unplug a fan cable? Maybe not. Okay, not bad. I have really big hands too. Like I hate working in the engine bay of a car. I love working on cars, but my body doesn't. But PCs I can manage so much easier for some reason. I don't really know what the science is behind that, but Yeah, I think the YouTuber's doing that. It's just for show. If you have a microfiber towel or something and you get fingerprints on stuff, you can just wipe it off. That's all you need. It's like a facade to make it feel more premium. Although some people like that stuff, you know? Maybe I should add white glove service as an add-on. I never even thought about that. I don't think so. It would take me, it would actually take me longer. I think that's why I would have to add. Obviously, if I'm building 10 PCs a day, it's one thing, but if I'm only doing a couple, it matters less, I guess. It's all time. And headache. It just sounds like a headache. It's coming along nice though. We're almost done. Home stretch right now. I'm gonna get these fans finished, and then we're gonna put the power supply in. Do the power cables for the 24-pin motherboard power cable. We already did the 8-pin CPU ones, so that's good. And then I'll install the GPU. So, almost there. Hide these fan cables behind this when that time comes. Seasonic Core. This is a new line from them, I'm pretty sure. Just comes with what you need. It's not bad. All right, that goes downside. Just gonna have to slide this guy in here. This Noctua cable might be pissed at me. And we're in. Good. Let me tie those up real quick. Glad you think so. Cable management is really what separates the boys from men. And the people who don't give a shit from the people who really give a shit. This is where the money's made right here. I could never do this as a system integrator who does volume. Like Skytech does like 30,000 PCs a month or something like that. I'm definitely boutique builder for life. Okay. Okay. Let's get our, this is the 12 volt high power cable. Goes into our GPU. Get this guy plugged in. You gotta be extra careful with these ones. Make sure you really seat it nice. Yeah, it gives way more satisfaction. I mean, it's better for me. It's better for the... I do make... I don't want to talk about finances, but my margins are definitely higher than those guys just because... I mean, realistically, to pay my bills, I only need to build like 3 PCs a month. I don't need to make a lot of money because I don't have a lot of bills. I bought my house for not a lot of money in 2017 when the interest rates were really low, so I'm chilling. You know, I don't need to make a lot of money, so I don't need to sell many PCs, which is why I can do this and sustain. I'm just embracing it, you know? That's why I'm not really focused so much on scaling. I really don't need to. No reason to get greedy about it. People talk to me about that all the time. All right. So, I gotta put the GPU in for me to figure that part out. Actually gonna go like this. Wait. Just stick it in the fucking hole. Okay, I gotta go the other way. I gotta flip this upside down like this. And then go backwards. Alright, let's straighten these cables out. Come on. These just require a little extra finagling in order to get everything to sit correctly. But the end result is excellent. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Okay. Perfect. Oh wait, I gotta pull this down a little bit more. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's get these power supply screws in. I need a little finesse, you know what I mean? Little finesse, little finagle. Nope. Nope, nope. 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 Yes. Where is my last power supply screw? Here we go again. All screws look the same. Seriously, where is it? I know it's here. It's just hiding in the open. There it is. Come here. Oh, this is a triple slot. That's right. All right, GPU time. Do you want the unboxing experience? I could do that. Let's do that. The PNY cards aren't that, like, crazy. As far as, like, packaging and all that stuff. It's not like an ASUS card, but it is a however many dollars we spent on this card, so I think it's worth unboxing for you. Should have done that for the power supply too, but other than the motherboard box, this GPU is the only other box that I will be sending you. But you will get the documentation for, like, the power supply and all that stuff. Accessory box. What have we got in here? Ah, support bracket. Oh, look at that. It's branded. That's cool. I'll use that then. Wasn't sure if this would come with one. Actually, very nice. Let's pull this behemoth out. Come here. I think this is the best value. I'm going to send you the electrostatic bags also. I think this is the best value, 5080. Or just in general, like, all the PNY cards are the best value. They're still very high quality. There's just no gimmicks with these guys, with PNY. They make a lot of, they've been making, first of all, they've been making GPUs for years. For NVIDIA, only. I don't think they made anything for AMD. Oh, great. Plastic behind. What a fucking pain this is going to be. Nice. Not bad. Nice looking card. Man, that power connector's deep in there. That's a great design, though. Because that avoids the bending. That always causes problems. Take out. I'll do HDMI and one display port. Now, let's get this thing installed. Very nice. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lay this down for this part. Oh no. I think my camera overheated. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. What a beauty. Now that is a sick PC. You feel me? Not happy with that cable. There we go. Okay, tie this up. Yeah, I gotta do that still. Honestly, I don't think it's necessary, but I will look for you. Okay. Where did that thing go? Oh, here it is. All right. How does this work? Where's the best place to put this thing? Okay, support bracket's in now. I tucked it in the back. I don't know if, I don't think this is going to stay during shipping though, JP. You're probably going to have to do this yourself. Just being honest. It's not like it locks in place or anything. It kind of just sits in the bottom. I have it sitting behind the fan right now. I think it's straight. Yeah, it's straight. My main concern is... Yep. It is actually making contact. Okay. I gotta come up with a way to force this cable down. How should I do that? Maybe... Come here. I will. I'm gonna leave it in because I have to take pictures of everything still for social media posts. So I'll leave it in for now. But before I ship it, I'll take it out. Come on. This is really hard to get. Okay, that works. What a beauty, man. Look at this thing. Oh my god. That is one of the nicest black builds I have seen in a long time. That is stupid clean. There's just, you know what it is? There's just no bullshit going on here. No bullshit. It's just murdered out. Wow, that looks good. Okay, let's clean up our cable ties. We're pretty much done here. Just an FYI, we're gonna boot in a minute. I just gotta see if I can make sure that I can get the side panels on. And then I gotta tie this up somewhere also. Goosebumps. I like that. Caleb, thank you, buddy. Glad you think so. All right. Let's get this case back together. All right, let's see if we can get this rear panel on. I got my work cut out for me. Back here. I don't even know what I was worried about. Like a fucking glove, buddy. Like a glove. That thing is sharp looking. So this thing, it's supposed to be a dust filter for the top. I want you to leave it off, okay? We want all the airflow we can get. You got 16 cores to cool, and all you're going to do is restrict the exhaust because the air... Basically, the way that this is all going to work is there's some air that's going to come from the power supply, just a little bit from the bottom, and then air that comes from the front. This bottom fan is going to blow air into this compartment. These fans are going to suck that air up, blow it into the GPU. The GPU is going to spit it out the sides here from this thing. The air is going to come up and out. This fan's going to blow some of the air up. Then we exhaust out the back some of that air. And then, obviously, we're exhausting air out the top. So, 6 intake, technically. 3 for exhaust. 3 140s in the front. 3 120s in the bottom. 1 140 in the back. And 3 120s on the rad. So, we want to help it be able to exhaust some as much air as possible. So, just make sure you leave that off. All right, let's turn this thing on. She's a beauty. Ah! I found some fan screws. They were hiding. Zoom in for you as much as I can here. So, if you don't want the RGB, there's going to be software. Sorry, I got this. There's going to be software installed on it that you'll be able to turn it off or change it to whatever color you want. Personally, just picking up screws I dropped. Personally, if you put it white instead of like the rainbow puke, white really makes it pop. It makes it awesome. White is probably the best option. She's a beauty, man. Absolutely gorgeous. What do you think? Absolutely gorgeous. I'm pretty sure it posted. I haven't checked. I don't even have, I forgot to plug in my HDMI. Let me do that real quick. Yeah, wait. I'll set it to wait for you then. I'm not going to be able to see chat for a second because I got to use this monitor. Make sure it posts. Yep, posted. Not bad. Not bad. That's basically going to conclude the stream. I'm going to configure Windows, get everything set up, and I'll be shipping this on Monday. I already printed the shipping label and whatnot, so. We're all set to go. UPS will be here around noon on Monday. I'm just going to clean up. Is there any programs you want me to install that I don't have to pay $1,000 for licenses for in order to install it? Oh boy. Drop my phone. I could preload it with some stuff for you if you want. Up to you. So let me know. You can always email me if you think of something. You don't have to tell me now. I mean, I got a lot of work to do with configuring the BIOS and Windows and stress testing and all that stuff. So, still a lot of work ahead of me. Building's the fun part. The real work starts in a couple minutes. And listen, you're probably not going to have your PC by the time I do my next live stream. I have another one coming next week. You'll be able to see a different case that I build in. It's called the Evolve X2. It's another blackout build, similar to yours in that way. Not the parts aren't as high end. Like this is a 5080. Hers is only going to be a 5060 because it's just an office PC for her, but it's going to be super nice. All right, glad you liked it. No additional software. Okay, I do put some stuff on there, like stuff for me. Later on, I'll put on like Malwarebytes. I'll put on AnyDesk for remote diagnostics. I put on benchmark software. Really just stuff for just in case we run into issues later on and I need to test for stability. There is going to be some stuff on there. You're free to do whatever you want with the PC after you get it, but the initial setup will have some stuff. It's not bloatware that's going to slow your system down or anything, but there will be some stuff on there. The account that's going to be on Windows, because that is going to be configured. You're not going to be able to do a first-time setup unless you make your own account and just do whatever you want. But it's going to be a local account with no Microsoft account linked. So basically, when you log on for the first time, if you sign in with a Microsoft account, all that stuff gets overwritten, which is probably what you're going to want to do. Just for security reasons and whatnot. But other than that, Malwarebytes you have, good. Okay, I'm not going to put a software license on there, obviously, but I'll put it on there just because it's the only antivirus that's worth paying for. It's part of it. And you're not a gamer, so I won't put any games on it. Never finished tightening up with these radiator screws. Alrighty. That's going to do it for this one then. I'll be in touch, JP. Caleb, thanks for hanging out, buddy. Hope you learned something. If you ever need, whenever you decide to build your PC for the first time, you feel free to hit me up. You can join our Discord server. Any of us will be willing to help you out. You can hop on FaceTime or whatever, and I can help you give you instructions. And if you want, when you do decide to build your first PC, I can get you a parts list. Or feel free to use our custom builder. Like, even if you don't buy the parts from us, feel free to use our custom builder. And just for parts compatibility and stuff to figure out what's compatible. And all the brands that we have featured on our site are the best of the best in this business. Most reliable, best performance. So, yeah, nothing to worry about there. All right. All right, I'll be in touch, JP. Have a good one, buddy. Hope you enjoyed.